Hello, my name is Christani Jen, and in today's video I would like to talk to you about how I began to love Nollywood heroines and begin to look up to them, and I will also cover various topics as usual. So the main Nollywood heroines I'd be talking to you about would be Ini Edo and Genevieve Nnaji for this video. And if there's any other topics that come as I'm talking to you guys, I will segue into them. So from 2006 to 2014, I would say was the main time where I was obsessed with African films. It's a long period, but I would just keep buying CD after CD after CD. Like I have over like 200 of them in my home. Sometimes it'd be disappointing, but sometimes it would be rewarding if you find a good one. Okay, so 2006, the first film I ever saw, 2006-2007, was a film called Beyonce President's Daughter, and it stars Van Vicker, Nadia Bori, and Jackie Appiah. And this film was the film that started it all. Like, I just became so obsessed with African movies. It would literally become like an addiction. And one of the first heroines, female actresses that really caught my eyes was Ini Edo, and the second was with Genevieve Nnaji. Of course, there was many powerhouse female leads like Tonto Dike, Oye Okoye, Mercy Johnson. There's a whole bunch of them during that era that are really, that's my era right there, I really resonate with. But the main two we're going to discuss today is Ini Edo, Iniobong Edo Ekim, and Genevieve Nnaji. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate first Ini Edo, then Genevieve Nnaji. And it's like, it's in that order, but I really appreciate them and basically all the African actresses during that time period. Okay, so when I would be watching these African movies, they usually have trailers that come before the movie starts. And one characters I would see would keep repeating in these movies would be Ini Edo and Genevieve Nnaji. Ini Edo and Genevieve Nnaji. But it would be Ini Edo a lot. Ini Edo all the time. And it was to a point where I was like, man, who's Ini Edo? Who is this woman who they keep repeating over and over and over and over into this film? And then one day I decided I would watch a film called The Wrong Woman. And from then on, I was set. My love for Ini Edo was basically, it was set. So I have a synopsis here where I speak on The Wrong Woman, which starts Uche Jumbo, Kali Ikwegu, Ngozi Nzenyu, and of course Ini Edo and Mona Lisa Chinda as that's the person that is the fiance is Vivian, who's mistaken for Ini Edo's character. So if you go into that synopsis, you see what the film is about. It's a case of mistaken identity, but it's about this young girl who has to go on a trip to get a job in the capital of Nigeria. Let me make sure my camera gets into focus. Okay, so she has to go on a trip to Lagos, Nigeria in order to secure a job through her uncle. But her other uncle, he wants to read her poems. And as he reads her poems, which she reluctantly lets him do, he tells her she's going to get a free trip to Lagos. And not only is it going to be a free trip, it's going to be a successful and lucky trip where she's going to find the love of her life and everything is going to make her change her life for the best. So she's like, oh wow, I'm going to get good fortune from reading my poems, and I'm going to get good fortune. How great is that, you know? How great is that? So then what ends up happening to her amazement is that there's a woman played by Uche Jumbo, Charlene, who comes in, and it is apparent that she's mistaking her for somebody else because she doesn't know this woman, and she's calling for Vivian, which is clearly her name, at Abubakar Lane, and and she doesn't know who this woman is, but she's trying to give her a free trip to Lagos. So she's like, man, is this a mistaken identity? Really what's actually happening is that Cha-Cha mixed the streets up. There's Abubakar Lane and there's Abubakar Road, let's say, and she got the directions wrong because she just wasn't paying attention to what her brother had told her when she was asking her to pick up his soon-to-be fiance, who's also named Vivian, who's at another street that's called Abubakar. So when she goes to this street and asking for Vivian, Ini Edo's character is like, man, maybe she just doesn't know there's another Vivian somewhere else at a street that's named the same way, and I need to tell her the truth. But then against her better judgment, her uncle's like, this is a free trip. You have to determine right now if this is what's gonna be it for you, or if it's not. You have to make the decisions for you, because she has this dilemma. It's more a dilemma where she's wondering, should I tell this lady that she has the wrong address, or should I just take the free trip? So she, against good judgment, goes with the free trip and pretends that she's the Vivian that she's looking for. And on the road she meets the mom and the sister, who's just first time meeting the Vivian that the brother is inviting into the home for a party that Sunday. And what ends up happening is that they just love her character. She's humble and she's beautiful, and she's just a great character. She speaks so respectfully with the mom, and the sister already loves her because they're around the same age. And it speaks to the point of, in the Creole term, "Ça qui pour c'est pas la toujours," which also means what is meant to be will always be. Like, and it goes back to what the uncle was saying. It's like it's a trip of a lifetime. It can't go wrong. It's like whatever is meant for you, it's for you. Like, you could mess up and do a bunch of crazy things, you will end up where you need to end up. That's basically the moral of that film. And as they're going through the motions, they're going they're talking and they're interacting. The mom and the sister can't believe that the brother finally picked a woman that is actually worth having, because he usually has really poor choices in women. And so eventually it comes out, after the brother keeps calling in and she keeps finding ways to avoid the calls. She fesses up because she feels so guilty because these people have been so good to her. She fesses up that she's not the Vivian that they've been looking for. She's not the actual woman that they've been looking for. And so Greg comes in and he's really upset. He's upset because he feels like this woman's an imposter. He's tricked the family, his mom and his sister. And now the mom, even though besides herself, she's trying to recommend Greg do like a matchmaking with the girl, because he's like, if you give her a chance, Greg, you know, you might actually like her. And so he wants nothing for the girl to get out of his house as soon as possible. So, but eventually, through her fiery character and through her just how she's so lovable, she ends up even winning him over. And soon he can't help himself. He actually wants to, like he finds himself like gravitating towards her. And eventually when the real Vivian, the actual fiance, the soon-to-be fiance, comes in, her poor manners and how indecent she is when she's talking to people, her lack of humility or arrogance, it's such a turn off of the mom and the sister that things actually do up in the let's just say things end up in Ini Edo's, Vivian's favor because of her humility. Because of her humility and how she just has so much respect for the mom and the sister, everything ends up, it goes up in her favor. So this film was the first one, and I was like, I just favored this. I just started favoring this actress so much. And the thing about her and most Nollywood actresses, especially during that time and even now, is their incredible confidence, their sass, their sophistication. Like, they're so sophisticated, and they're like, if you watch most of the films, like the men can't talk to the women any type of way. They'll either slap them or they'll put them in their place. So they have extreme confidence. Now, one person that fits this role to a T, I would say, would be Genevieve Nnaji. Like, she's a person where Ini Edo could get away with just being like a household servant. Even as a household servant, Genevieve Nnaji looks like she's supposed to be a queen, because she just is, as they'll affectionately say, she's always on a high horse. She always thinks that she just has a way she carries herself, that even if she's a housemaid cleaning the dishes, she'll make the other women who are like the palace women feel offended by the way she carries herself. So when I got these examples, then there's Oye Okoye, who she just, it's like they have this unbelievable confidence. And the reason why I wanted to do a video on this is because I was watching a video the other day, on a YouTube video, on a woman that was saying that she didn't get pretty privilege, and that's okay. She was really humble about it, and she was talking to a point like she understands that she's not beautiful, and she understands that guys will never look at her with awe. And she was also trying to say that you can't confidence your way into people thinking you're pretty. I agree with that to a certain extent, but if I look at these African movies enough, like, they're the ones that basically gave me most of my confidence. The way the women act, I've seen in them, in various actresses, like a lot of them, to the human eye, they do not look very beautiful. Like Ini Edo and Genevieve is stunning, but they're not conventionally pretty. Some of them are dark, some of them are very light, some of them are even white looking, some of them are in between, some of them are gorgeous, and some of them are just not. Let's face it, they're not. And the attitude that these women have is like, it's like they're the Queen of England, basically. And after a while, when you finish watching these films, you're like, man, am I seeing something that I'm not? Am I missing something? Because they have so much confidence in themselves. They believe in themselves so much that by the end of the film, you start to begin to feel like, especially being a black woman, like I feel like they give me confidence. Like, they don't have the hourglass figure, or they have an apple shape, or they have a pear shape, or a shape that is beautiful but it's not conventionally what you would call, or they're slim, but their confidence level, it just inspires you to just to love yourself and to just be the best you possible. So the reason why I love these Nollywood Heroines, again, to conclude the video, is because they are so in tune and so aware of who they are. It's almost like they're so aware of who they are, and they're so proud to be in the skin that they're in, that they give you permission for you yourself to be confident and happy in the skin that you're in. And the differences of how they look, where it's not like one generic look like you'd see in the States or in like other Asian countries. It's not one generic type of beauty where they just drop dead. They have wigs on. Some of them, they're big, they have apple shapes. Some of them have huge breasts, and they have small. It's a look. There's a look for everybody. There's something for everybody to see themselves in there. Some of them are light skinned, some of them are in between, some of them are really dark, but they really are confident within themselves. And as a result of this, you get second grade confidence from them, because you feel so inspired by the level of love that they have for themselves. So that's basically why I love Nollywood Heroines. And I think I will do a video on Genevieve Nnaji, because I just need to pay homage to how this woman feels like she is just the bee's knees. And because she feels like she's the bee's knees, and she's skinny, and she's dark skinned, and she's gorgeous. I'll give her that. She's really gorgeous. But because she feels so confident in her, she makes me feel like I'm okay with me. And Ini Edo, because sometimes I get references to her sometimes, and she plays the female lead, she plays the love interest, she plays all types of roles, and it's just not stereotypical roles that fit certain like caricatures. She can play anything, and she'll do it with ease. It just gives you confidence that, like me, I can be anything. And that's what these Nollywood Heroines have done for me. They have told me that I could be anything, and in the skin I am, I can be very comfortable in who I am, and I could love myself just as I am. And that's why I love Ini Edo, Iniobong Edo Ekim, and I love Genevieve Nnaji. I can't get enough of those two. Such dignified women, such confident women, such poised women. So that's my video for today. My name is Jen. Thanks.